big news in the boxing world. Dana White and Turki Alalshikh decide that they're going to create TKO, promotion company, to do essentially what's been happening over in Riyadh over the last, 2 years, 3 years. We've started to see these mega fights. Like, as a fighter who wants to earn money for yourself and for your future family, and wants to be in a position to provide for people in a sport in which you've spent so much of your life, essentially scraping by, a lot of boxers do until they get their big opportunities. How exciting is something like that?
It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. It's a bit different with how he took over the MMA world. Like, it wasn't really there wasn't really a platform or anything for it. So it was relatively unknown at that stage. And whereas boxing, it's got a deep history, man. And like, to get all these people out of all these other promoters out of boxing and get all these other fighters out of contracts as well, it's going to be tricky.
Do you think they'll try to take fighters from promotions though, or do you think they'll just try to work with promoters to create something that's bigger?
Maybe, yeah, it could be that. It could be, that sounds like a more logical way of going about it. But I really wouldn't know the structure of things, how it's going to work, and I know for a fact like what some of the champions get paid in UFC compared to what some people draw in boxing, and they're probably not doing as big a numbers as they are in the UFC, and the pay is probably astronomically different. So that's going to be an interesting one to see how that works out as well. And yeah, it's I think until you're in it, you probably couldn't comment too much on it, but it's it's never a bad thing to have more options in the sport.
Sure.
So Dana White's done massive things with the UFC, and look, mate, like everything from like the marketing and how they tell the stories of the fighters, from the prelims to the main event. I think their product's very, very good in the UFC. Like, no one likes sitting around at like boxing events and having to wait an hour after the co-main event for the main event and stuff like that. Whereas the UFC, if there's a knockout in round one, right, get your gloves on, like you're going out there in 15 minutes, and it's pretty smooth, and it runs really well like that. And I think, yeah, the fans sort of, it just becomes a more enjoyable aspect to sort of watch. It's a really good product, and if they bring that into boxing, I think there's a lot other promoters and stuff can learn from Dana White and how they run a show.